Hello and welcome. Today's topic is lean startup. Here we will be discussing, we will be defining and we will be looking at the history of lean manufacturing and then how it has moved forward, how lean agile have been combined together to come up with lean startup. We will define minimum viable product and see how these are executed, the advantages of, and we will discuss many examples. Why this lean is being discussed everywhere and why people think that this is the central to entrepreneurship success is because the technology is changing too fast, and if people are developing product, spending years and lot of resources, chances are very high that by the time the product will be ready, the market will move in a different paradigm altogether, and then the product will not be this customer will not buy the products for whom this has been developed. Here is some data very briefly, just to drive home the point of change, how change is being accelerated over the years. The life of Standard and Poor 500 companies, meaning that a company grows and then enters into become a Fortune 500 company, and then it remains. It used to remain there in 1958 or so. It used to remain there for 61 years. By the time new companies used to come and knock them out of the list, which has come down gradually to 18 years and is projected to come down to 12 years, meaning that a company will grow and become one of the Fortune 500 companies, and then it will remain there for 12 years. By that time, a new company is going to knock them out of the list because they are going to grow bigger and bigger. So, that is the pace at which new companies are getting created, and they are becoming the who's who and of the industry, and old companies are either dwarfing in size, or they are dying natural death, or like say Yahoo used to be something like $125 billion company. Now their market value will be something like $5 billion. So, from 125 to 5, and then one can extrapolate that to understand how long this will survive. Facebook was nowhere, it is a new company. Now they are new entrant in for Fortune 500 companies and the like. So, we will not spend so much time. The point that I am trying to drive home is that the changes are too fast, and if we really intend to come up with a new product and come to the market with a new product, then the product development time has to be reduced. The amount of money that will be invested to develop the product has to be as small as possible. This is another statistics. A professor from Yale University observed that the companies who are part of NASDAQ, they used to be there in NASDAQ for 100 years, which has come down to 15 years by 2010. So, that shows the change. Jack Welch, who used to be the CEO of General Electric, and during his time General Electric's valuation saw 4,000% increase. So, definitely he is a kind of a wonderful person. He says, if the rate of change in the outside, meaning outside means in the marketplace or in the competitors space, is higher than the rate of change within, meaning that in your company your rate of change is slower compared to the outside, end is near. The quotation is assuming greater and greater significance by the day. Reducing product development life cycle and ensuring that customers would buy what you produce is central to the success. So, you have to really you can actually, and you have to ensure that whatever you are going to produce, customers are going to like it and going to buy that. So, how to ensure that? How not to spend years to develop a product and go to market, and then to realize that no customer wants to buy this product. Lean product development method that recommends development of a minimum viable product, a product with minimum or key features, but then it can be developed with minimum time, minimum resources, and then show it to customer, get it validated whether they really like it or not, or what can be added so that they will like. Only then you move forward to the next step. That is what is lean product development method, and lean product development is integral part of lean startup. Eric Ries, who wrote the book Lean Startup, is widely regarded as the propounder or originator of the idea of a lean startup. He is a student of Steve Blank, who wrote the book The 4 Steps to the Epiphany. Though I referred 2013 edition of the book because I read that, but he originally wrote the earlier version was 2004, whereas Eric Ries wrote the book in 2011. So, there should not be any confusion about the hierarchy of the philosophy or concept. Eric wrote, the grim reality is that most startups fail. Most new products are not successful. Most new ventures do not live up to their potential. Therefore, we really absolutely cannot afford to spend years in developing a product based on our gut feel that customer will buy whatever we produce. So, we must quickly validate our hypothesis that this is a product that will offer value to the customer and they will buy. If not, then we will redesign as quickly as possible, we will rebuild and then again go to the customer as quickly as possible and then get validated as many times as necessary, till we come up with a product that customer will like. So, in the process, at the end, whatever product we finally come up with, we are so very sure that customers are going to buy that product. Contrary to this, what the traditional approach is. The traditional approach is a very well planned, systematic, step by step process of product development. It starts with definitely with a hypothesis that okay, this is a product that customers are going to buy, and then this is one step by step process, meaning they move forward gradually in a linear method. They do not come back to examine means with the customer, they do not go to the market, they remain within their room, they do not go out to the market and then talk to customer whether they are going to like it or not. That is the traditional standard process. But then data shows that very frequently new products do not find acceptance to the target customer. In contrast, lean development process actually involve customer validation at every stage, and then through learning of experience of the customer, they redesign or revisit their idea, design, features, etc., etc. Here is a depiction of the waterfall model. Is a traditional linear model of product development. It starts with requirement analysis. Requirements is what customers require, then design, then implement, develop product. Verification of the design means laboratory test whether it is giving the output that is desired, then go to market and then maintain. There is no process of customer validation, like water does not flow upstream, it always flow downstream. This is called waterfall model. So, they never actually take customer feedback and go back and revisit the design. So, frequently they are not successful. They spend a lot of money, time and resources finally to see that customers do not buy what you have made. This is not stories, this is not manufactured stories. You can think of so many cars being launched and you see how many of them becomes blockbuster or flagship of any company. Just take for example, Maruti. You have Maruti Swift, Maruti Desire, Baleno. There are many more cars which are not so much of a revenue generator. So, these are all true stories. Now, of course, every company including car companies, they are also trying to adopt lean product development process, agile manufacturing, agile project management philosophies, etc., etc. Everything they are also adopting, and they are also cutting down on new launches without validation. So, lean process actually is a combination of many processes, many great processes. The two to name is the lean manufacturing process and the agile process. But when you go deeper inside the lean startup, you will find that just in time or even Kaizen, just in time is maintaining the minimum required inventory or components, meaning make components or inventory or stock available just when you need them, is the just in time. Kaizen is constant improvement of quality. Kaizen believe, the philosophy is based on the idea that there is always an opportunity to improve quality. So, continuously make effort to improve and improve. So, these also are kind of part of the lean startup. Lean manufacturing is about cutting wastage of any kind. And how you define wastage? Wastage means adding anything or spending anything or time or whatever to a product that is not adding any value to your customer. Suppose you are polishing a product to a greater finish. Now, suppose customer does not care about that kind of polishing, then whatever time you are spending, the tool time that is getting engaged, these are adding no value to your customer, because the customer do not care about that, it does not need that. So, that means you are spending something that customers do not value, so that is a waste, even though you are adding aesthetic value. So, that is the philosophy. So, cut down on time of production, downtime of machine, raw material excess, cut everything, those are wastage, and that is the philosophy of lean manufacturing. Agile method has been conceived in the context of project execution, where they say that you do something, you add some, initially you start working and then immediately you go to a customer, see whether the customer is going to like it or not. If not, then revisit the design, then again go to the customer. If yes, then also move to the next stage, add more value, again get validated. So, that as you move forward, customers are always with you and they are on the same page, meaning they are ready to buy your product. This is in direct contrast with the linear process. This shows, juxtapose the two side by side. On the top is the linear waterfall model, where step by step you move forward, you plan, analyze, then design, then build, then test within your own factory, then any correction necessary you correct, test, then deploy. Whereas, Agile is, it moves in cycle. You ideate, build, test, then deploy, meaning go to the customer uses that, then learn from customer's experience, whatever they say, based on that you redesign and then again build. So, you move to the second circle, third circle, it may be any number of circle, and finally, when customer validates completely and you are completely sure that customers are going to buy this, then you deploy or launch. Lean product development process is a way to test your hypothesis. You make hypothesis. Any startup starts with hypothesis. First of all, value hypothesis, that is, your product that you are thinking will be valuable to your customer, meaning that customers are going to value your product is going to alleviate the pain of the customer. So, it is kind of product market fit, that is one of your hypothesis. So, you want to test that hypothesis time and again, means at every phase of the product development process. Based on feedback, you can refine the design, redesign, or completely pivot, start with a new product or new design altogether. It is a very scientific approach to creating and managing successful startup in an age when companies need to innovate so rapidly, which I trying to emphasize at the beginning. Lean and agile process, I think this does not require more discussion. Let us move forward. Lean recommends elimination of waste of all kinds, waste of resources, waste of time, waste of machine hours, waste of downtime. So, you do preventive maintenance, so that there is no downtime, etc. Applying both lean and agile is going to increase the possibility of success, reduce risk, reduce resources consumption, and finally, reduce cost and increase competitive advantage. So, this is very important. Agile actually suggests that there should be everybody, every use cases or every department of your company should be connected, and the input available, customer input or customer information available in the marketplace should be percolated through the entire value chain of your company, meaning that from design, the market should be directly connected to the design and to other departments, both manufacturing, etc. So that any problem that has been identified by customer, or any complaint or any suggestion given by the customer, should be available to the designer, so that it can be started from the design itself. Suppose the customer complains about the packaging. So, it is not just a packaging issue. This issue may be related to the whole product's aesthetic also, or the product shapes also. So, if the designer is privy to this information, it will start from the design stage, and then finally, it will be a holistic solution. Otherwise, small problem taken care by the core department. Suppose it is a manufacturing problem and taken care by manufacturing itself, not really starting from the design itself, then it is going to cost, it is going to involve more time, more cost, and eventually the solution may not be a perfect solution. So, that is why there is a saying that a small initial problem may cause serious bigger problem. Correction may be very difficult. So, that is why Agile says that you start from the design itself, so that entire thing can be changed. So, it becomes cheaper for correction. And Eric actually combined both Agile and Lean. I believe that he combined Kaizen and just in time as much. Evolution of lean strategies. There are so many slides, I will move very fast because these are all kind of just to give an impression that it is not some new fad or something. It is very much there in our society. It was there since time antiquity. So, it is nothing new, but then it has been placed in a manner so that it attracts everybody's attention. So, that new generation companies do not neglect or do not neglect this important philosophy and achieve success very quickly and so very definitively. The core philosophy is actually associated with our daily life. Means you can practice lean philosophy in your daily life. Even if you are a student, you are a businessman, you are anything, you can use lean philosophy. It is just to cut cost everywhere. You can make a rupee go a long way. There is a saying that take care of the rupee, the lakhs and crores will take care of themselves, meaning that have an eye on wastage, as a very keen eye, and avoid any kind of wastage, and then you become a rich people. You do not have to really care about the crores and lakhs, they will take care of themselves. Most of us take it for granted. I know, means that is the attitude of people, but in reality we do not apply them, and we do not apply them to our own peril. Lean application of lean can actually means many of the failures can be avoided through application of lean. The core philosophy of lean had been there since time antiquity, as I said. So, let us move forward fast. Benjamin Franklin, he was here since 1706 to 1790. Some point of time he said, you waste 5 cents worth of time. That means as if you are throwing 5 cents into water, because using that 5 cents worth of time, you might have created something worth 5 cents, which you did not create because you wasted that time. So, he says a penny saved is 2 penny clean, meaning suppose you are making a bargain, you do not do the bargain and you pay one paisa more. If you do not do that, if you make a bargain, you save that 1 paisa that remains in your pocket. In the process, you save 2 paisa, because the product that is there, which you have gained paying 1 paisa less, and you have another paisa in your pocket. So, 1 paisa is there in the product itself that you bought, another paisa is in your pocket. It is very intelligently told, but then we normally do not follow that. I do not say that, but people say that. Benjamin Franklin has said, what the little things, a small leak will sink a great ship. What I told about a rupee and lakhs and crores, almost the same thing told in a different way. Frederick Winslow Taylor in 1911 said something about lean. Whenever a workman proposes lean, but then it is not exactly lean, it is about empowering your workman, it is about actually Kaizen. Kaizen says that everybody in the production line or in the factory has the right to recommend a change that can improve the process. So, Taylor said in 1911 that any workman making a recommendation should be heard properly, and then it should be examined thoroughly whether it really improves, and if it improves, it should be implemented everywhere. So, it was there in Ford as well. So, Ford did wonderful job. In fact, Ford became one of the richest man on earth widely, because means it is believed widely because of implementation of lean philosophy. When he put up this assembly line of car manufacturing, it is nothing but a lean process of manufacturing, lean manufacturing process. So, he constantly increased quality, he increased the pay of the labor because he could save a lot of money, he repeated reduction in cost to the customer. Eventually, customer got a car at a rate which is unthinkable otherwise. Had this assembly line, had this not been there, perhaps car cost would have been much higher in those days. And eventually, it is a cause and effect relation where he created almost 100-fold value in 10 years time. Henry Ford said something about farmers, but then the succinct message is that when you are working somewhere, if you do not plan properly, if you do not bring all the tools on the table that you are going to need, you are going to run here and there for different tools. Eventually, as he says, you only 5% of your time are going to be productive, 95% of the time will go to face this, that, and then refocus on your job at hand. And again, lean actually started in Toyota. Toyota also copied it from Ford or some other place, but then the word lean is normally associated with Toyota. Toyota was a textile company at the beginning, and when a thread would break, the machine will keep on weaving some canvas or cloth. So, to avoid that, they came up with a solution. Whenever a thread would break, the machine would come to standstill, so that there will be no wastage, because a thread is broken. Then if you continuously weave, then there will be some cloth has to be cut from there. So, it is a huge problem. So, they started this problem, they started solving that, and that became a lean process. Lean is keep only what adds value and reduce or eliminate everything that does not add value to the customer. So, anything that you think that is not going to add value to the customer, just eliminate that. Like Eric Ries, who wrote the book, he was developing I forgot the term. So, let us move forward. So, evolution of Toyota from a small company to the world largest automaker is attributed among other things to lean manufacturing process. The history of lean product development, again just a continuation. After the World War II, Toyota is the name of the founder of the Toyota group, and Taiichi Ohno at the Toyota Motor Company in Japan pioneered the concept of lean production. The rise of Japan to the current economic preeminence is quickly followed, is attributed to the adoption of lean process by many companies in Japan in those days. Just in time, Kaizen, these are all part of this these are all philosophies that Toyota actually brought in. So, they made Toyota what they are today. It is a global company of huge size and stature. Though lean manufacturing is commonly perceived to be a combination of tools, Toyota view this as a very simple thing. As I said, it is to reduce waste, but what are waste and how do you reduce? They categorize the waste in 3 groups. One is muda, that is non-value adding work, like futility, like, and you reduce that work, like you are polishing or you are adding a new package, you are adding another layer to something which are not appreciated by customers. Even if that is not there, customers are going to buy, remove all of them, eliminate them. Then Mori is overburden, like you do preventive maintenance, so that machine is not suddenly machine breaks down. To avoid breaks down means downtime for the company. So, avoid that downtime, and then suppose there is an accident, immediately there will be a huge hue and cry, the whole factory will be closed shut, and then it will take time, it gives pain to the person who had the accident. So, avoid all those, implement all safety tools, etc., avoid any kind of overburden. Another is unevenness. Your process, your design should focus on evenness. Suppose you are using some nut for a particular product, use the same nut and bolt for other products as well. So, there is an evenness among designs, so that you do not have to really specialize on that, and then you will look around for different things, you manufacture them at different plants. So, in your supply chain, in your product design, in your everywhere there should be standard. So, for all operators they will know that this is this and this is not this. They are not formula, but they are the philosophies. It is just to reduce waste and create, in the process, create value for your customers. These are the steps that are followed, that are involved in lean manufacturing. Design a simple manufacturing system, decrease cycle time, less inventory, just in time inventory, increase productivity, meaning reduce machine time, reduce human interference, reduce downtime. So, increase capital equipment utilization, meaning do preventive maintenance, so there is less downtime. Recognize that there is always room for improvement, is a Kaizen philosophy. Continuously improve even the lean manufacturing process that you have put into place. Lean startup process, identify suitable business model around a compelling pain. People are crying for a better solution, then identify essential component for customers to appreciate, means the core component. With the core component, you prepare a minimum viable product. What is a minimum viable product? That is a product with just enough features to give the customer the sense of value proposition, meaning what value you are offering to the customer. It helps early customers to evaluate the core functionalities and to provide meaningful feedback for future product development. Validate your hypothesis, the value hypothesis, that customers are going to buy your product, as the customers pain is going to be alleviated with your product, and then move forward. Repeat the process again and again till the final product is ready. Add more features, reduce some features that customers are not appreciating, optimize and avoid waste. Gather data, learn in the process. So, using the learning, again move forward. building a product or service starts with a hypothesis, a value hypothesis. As I said, it hypothesizes that whatever we are going to create, customers are going to value this, they are going to pay money for that. A growth hypothesis that says that there will be sufficient customers to buy this product, so that spending so much of money to develop or build this is going to be justifiable. The job of an entrepreneur is to test the value hypothesis. They are finding some customers to use the product and service and give feedback. Ideally, the customer whose needs are mostly accurately served should be the initial target audience. Next is to build a product that has bare minimum features, the key features, core features, while they are sufficient to define its capability to serve desired purpose. Try early adopters, because they are excited about new technology, they are less concerned about aesthetics. They are forgiving, meaning that even if the product does not look nice, they do not care about it. They are forgiving about the look and feel of the early product, provided it fulfills their need. If users complain about a missing feature and they are on your roadmap, that implies that the team understands the customer, meaning that suppose there is this product is missing one feature and customers do not complain that that feature is not there. So, your product development team is now educated enough to understand that customers actually do not care about that feature, and if they complain about absence of something, you should add that. The result will guide you to validate your hypothesis. Charge early. This is another very important core philosophy of lean startup. Though it is counterintuitive and many startups actually delay charging the customer, thinking that if I charge now, no customer will come. But then Eric Ries says you should try, at least try to charge early. Startups should try to come up with a model to charge the customer early. Very few business models offer the option to charge late and achieve overnight success, meaning that you think that I will develop a product and then suddenly I will go to market and then customers are going to buy and pour money. It normally does not happen. If you can ensure that customers are paying even at the early minimum viable product stage, so you have some cash flow. So, your burn rate will be slightly less. So, you will remain, means you can sustain for a longer duration. So, that is why charging early is always better. Having some revenue is always better than no revenue at all. Start with a prototype with the minimum but most critical features. Sell it in exchange for money. Keep updating the product to give customers better value and get feedback. Thank you again.